Hey everybody, I'm in Jason's deli, so I hope you can hear me. But basically, what I want to talk about right now is I was just listening to NPR's TED Radio Hour, and I was just listening to NPR's TED Radio Hour, and it was talking about growing up and the experiences and how they shape us. So we all have experiences that just make us who we are. And some of the people talking were talking about how, like this one guy, his mother was going from a country in Africa. She's one of the first women in the 60s to be taken over to a really nice college in England. But she was pregnant at the time, and the way they treated women back then was terrible. I mean, it was just basically that she was assigned, like if you're motherless, you're considered a threat to the community. So they assigned her a social worker whose main goal was to get the child away from the mother permanently and into a foster care. And like he literally told the foster parents, pretend this is an adoption and expect to keep it forever. So it's just, and then him going through and like years later accepting and forgiving and all this stuff. But anyway, what I've come to realize is that it's within myself. I'm now 26 as of my birthday on August 24th, and it's I'm realizing as I get older how much more I'm able to access the what was really going on, a different perspective in my childhood based on the events, and just kind of grow up and realize what I need to deal with. And it's been a trying thing, but it's also a very good thing. But anyway, I'm working through like dealing with grief and happiness and stuff, and my food's here, so I'll be back. I'm back. Okay. Anyway, I just want to finish this before I eat. So, the experience of working through grief and anger and frustration and sadness and shame and guilt and all these things that we all get through, and then you get up to courage and you realize how to stand up for yourself, because I don't want to be led by shame, and I don't think other people do either. So I hope me telling this will allow my future self to not let this be a problem for me, but also if this benefits anyone else, that's great too, because I think we need to support each other and be there. That's what I've wanted and been unable to find. So I guess maybe recording this will help provide a different perspective for someone else. But anyway, I want to get to where I'm happy and I feel love. And the more you learn about how the heart works and the mind and how they connect, there's this concept that I was told, and it's basically a feeling is where your thoughts and your emotions come together. So when you're a kid, things happen and you feel something, but maybe you don't know how to articulate it into words. You don't know how to process it. Your brain maybe hasn't developed enough or whatever, so it gets suppressed until you can deal with it. And that's how children have this amazing capacity to smile even after something truly awful has happened to them. Something that would break many adults. Like, they're able to do this. It's whatever psychological function that they're able to do, self-defense mechanism, whatever. But that stuff comes back later, and I don't want anything of myself to be suppressed, hidden away. I want to deal with all my demons, all my skeletons, all my everything that is troubling me on some level, whether it's conscious or subconscious. I want to be aware of myself, and I want to move forward. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to have fear. I don't want to have cowardice. I don't want to be unable to stand up for myself or other people, especially because I don't feel good about myself when I allow those things to happen. So step it up, be an adult, move forward, and when I listen to talks like that, it's inspiring. It moves me. It makes me feel something, not just an emotion like, oh, that's a sad story, or not just a thought like, well, they were dumb, they should have just logically done this, this, and this, but come together and realize, no, I empathize with that feeling and take that and try and extract a lesson from it. One of the things that TED Radio Hour talked about was the idea of you are in control of your own story, what you tell people about yourself, how you describe it. If you describe it as you're a victim, then you'll be seen and you will feel like a victim. If you describe it as, these are mistakes I've made, my failures, and from that I pull lessons, and here's where I am today because of my past. That's taking control of your own life. I think one of the biggest problems with a lot of organized religion is that they phrase it in a way that makes it seem like there's some mysterious force up there that makes all the decisions for you. But that's not a good way to look at life. You are in control of your life. For the most part. Some people aren't. Some people literally can't get out. They're like stuck in a box in prison, or they're in a different country where there's literally no way out, and their struggle is much harder, or they have debt, or they have whatever. But the reality is, if you live in a developed nation, you are in control of your life. You do get to choose. You don't have to do what other people tell you to do. You are an independent, autonomous person who has thoughts, feelings, emotions, a sacred perspective that no one else has, and the ability to do something with that. What you do can be positive or negative. It just is. That's your choice. But you don't have to let someone who injured you, either emotionally, physically, mentally, like whatever, at some point in your life, you don't have to carry that. It's whether it's subconscious or conscious, you can consciously become aware of it and then choose to not let that affect you. It's a very difficult path. It hurts. It's hard, but it can be done. So that's the main thing I just want to say. You are not a victim. If you choose to be in control of your life, you can be. It's difficult. You have to retrain all the programming in your brain that you learned as a kid, but you can do it. I believe in you. I believe in myself. I am working to lead by example and not just say these things, these wonderful words that sound great on paper, but it's work. So I'm working on that personally, and I would love to hear from you if you also have a story, because I think it's important that we support each other and listen, and learn from each other, and grow together. And I noticed this. There was something done in Africa where they took a whole bunch of children, and I forget what country it was, but they had them all sitting there, and they said, okay, we put some fruit over by a tree. The first one to get there gets the fruit. Well, what they did is they all held hands and walked to it together. Someone asked, why? I said, Ubuntu, which is also the name of one of the Linux operating systems, side fact, is it's the idea of we are all together in this. If we all go together, no one has to suffer. We can all have an equal share of happiness. Why should someone else suffer? I'm paraphrasing. I'll try and put up the actual meaning right here. But the long story short, that's what I want for the world. I want to put myself in everyone else's shoes that I can possibly conceive in my mind, and give a system, a hand, a help to whatever, if I was in a different situation, what I would want and need to better my situation if I'm willing to take action. How can I make this easiest for myself and anyone else's position? So that's my goal. That's what I'm going to do. Anyway, please let me know if you have any other, if your personal story, if you feel willing to share. I think it would be good for us all to share this. I would very much love to hear from you and have a conversation. I would really enjoy that. So have a great day. I will talk to you all later.